I bring to you visitors from the land of sports. They do not know our ways.
That's not true. That's not true.
They know our ways. We're doomed.
I've never been introduced as from the land of sports before.
I think actually, just to get everyone in the mood, can we do like a sports chant?
I don't know any.
I don't know.
Oh, I literally just, can we chant sports?
Oh, sports.
Yeah! The power
really
is
good.
unbelievable.
I don't know. I should have introduced you as from the nation of sports because these fine people are from SB Nation. How many of you people out there have enjoyed the videography of these people?
YouTube.com/SBNation. Cool. Wow. Thank you. Oh my God.
Whoa,
crazy.
cool.
Okay, so just to be clear, they're also super nerds, like they're board gamers and stuff like that. But don't embarrass them. Like, so I want why don't you guys introduce yourself? Ryan, you want to start?
Sure. My name is Ryan Simmons. I am a video director at SB Nation and the host of a series called Weird Rules and Some That's Weird.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Clara Morris. I'm a video producer at SB Nation. That'll do it.
Hi, I'm Kofie Yeboah, and I am the co-host of the SB Nation show Fumble Dimension.
We're going to get to that. I'm Mike Selinker.
John has remained in cryogenic freezing where we have him in our office in New York. That's the only way.
Wasn't invited.
His brain is actually 800 years old, so we have to keep it cryogenically frozen in between video productions to keep it at optimal production. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Just keep going.
I like that the cult of John has actually made it.
The cult of John is very real. Yeah.
So I'm Mike Selinker. I'm some sort of game designer. And I'm not afraid to admit that I like sports too. So
sometimes sports are good.
Yeah.
Sometimes sports can be cool and good. Sometimes.
And I do a lot of stuff on the internet about things that are weird and also things that are rules. And so I thought that this might be a cool panel to do live, and these fine folks were happy to come up from New York to do it for you. So you should be nice to them.
Everyone has been amazing, including you. Thank you very much for having us. We're really excited.
This has been great.
Yeah.
So far.
Okay, so we have
All downhill from here.
So we have a thing for you to do.
Yes.
Does anybody here have some sort of cellular communication device? Possibly a supercomputer in their pocket. All right, please take that out.
I will warn you, before we get to the weird rules, I made this slide. I'm very proud of it. I did it in about 30 seconds downstairs.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
We are now entering the fumble dimension. Before we get to the weird rules stuff.
Oh, you made that slide. Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You made that.
I made you a bunch of slides, dude.
I haven't seen this PowerPoint.
You haven't seen a whole lot of what's
surprised.
going to come. So do you want to give the instructions for what's going to happen here?
Well, let's just do a quick background. We're not going to go too deep into it because we'll do this later in the show. But Kofie, could you describe the last episode that you did of the Fumble Dimension broadcast?
So we
Fumble
had
Dimension episode 4.
So we had our lovely, lovely fans tell us what to put on the golf course, and it went well and not well,
Yeah.
depending on what side of the video you were on.
So Fumble Dimension, for anyone who doesn't know, is your series with John Boyce,
Yes.
where you stretch the limits of what is possible in our known universe through sports video games.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So up to this.
I love that description. It's always hard to just
Yeah.
say what it is, but you kind of.
I just did it. I nailed it.
Yeah, you just did it
Really
really
good.
well.
I nailed it.
It's like you're some sort of producer.
Yeah, I know.
So in previous episodes, they've made the world's worst basketball player and cloned him on every team in the NBA just to see, or is he the most average basketball player?
No, worst basketball.
Worst basketball. Okay, yeah. And then the football one could come up with one play and have was it Madden? I don't know, whatever it was. Throw it every single time on the field to see how many points you could get that way, and it turns out a lot.
Well, I think you're missing one important fact is that they gave that play to the 2008 winless Detroit Lions
Yeah.
to try and rewrite history.
And we won 3 games.
Hell yeah!
3. Okay.
You love to see it.
Just so you know, there'll be a test later. 3 is bigger than 0. But now, most recently, they made a golf course out of the game, The Club, and it has some interesting features, which we want you to select because Kofie is going to make a hole for it live.
I'm going to show your Xbox just really quickly. So this is what we're looking at right now. Kofie is going to design a course based off of your input right here in front of our
just
very
a hole.
eyes. Oh, just a hole. Yeah, sorry.
Not a hole.
This took 8 days to make. The last one took 8 days. You know, I only have like 30, 40 minutes.
Just
know?
one hole of a course. You're right.
So can we get your options on screen?
Yes. So if I go back to the computer here, these are some of the options we have available. You can submit your desire right now on your cellular device at Selinker.com.
Yeah.
We've got cows. We've got ships. We've got helipads.
And I know that everyone's going straight for bees. That's the funniest one. But like, let's not undercut how good a stop sign could be.
Yeah, right.
Stop signs were
We got a lot of those.
crazy popular,
on the
right?
first, on the first
let's not
hole.
coach them.
That's
Sure,
true.
right,
That's
right,
true.
right.
See what the public wants.
Whatever your heart desires, that's on that slide.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So go there, choose an element, and it will be brought to you live if enough of you agree on it. Okay. So that's the future. Let's talk about the present. You got a show called Weird Rules.
Yeah.
And in that show, you take a rule that what?
The website went down.
What
You
did you
overloaded.
people do?
You overloaded on traffic, man. Look at all the support.
Did we crash the website?
We crashed your website. Oh.
What is wrong with
Wow.
you people?
You got in?
You got in? All right.
All right. Well,
One guy got in? You got in?
bunches of you got in.
a bunch of people got in.
Yeah, they got
Okay.
in, but they all did it at once.
I was very ready to make one person responsible
No.
for what was going to happen on this course.
Well, if you didn't get in, go back and do it again.
yeah, keep
Whatever.
trying. We're going to.
It'll work.
Yeah.
Okay. So, back to quasi-reality. In this show, your goal is to show a rule that is a little odd.
Yes.
Some people might not understand why it's there, and then you show why it's there.
The crazy thing about sports rules, just like board games or any game, is that there's always someone who's trying to take advantage of some sort of loophole that's never been done before, or some sort of weird story leads to someone needing to write a rule. There's a bunch that we're going to talk about today. There's a hockey coach in particular who is in the NHL Hall of Fame
We'll get that.
specifically for breaking the rules. But yeah, there's, sports is still a game, and so you'll always have people trying to circumvent. I mean, we also did just see a couple of months ago that people are still cheating at the World Series, which is kind of crazy. But
right. That was, yeah.
But people are always looking to cheat, and because of that, these governing bodies of sports often have to come up with some sort of strange rule where if you're just casually flipping through a rule book, you're like, well, why the fuck? Why do they have to tell goalies you can't lay your stick in front of the goal? Well, because a dude tried it in the
That's
NHL
right.
for several games,
I
they had to stop him from doing that because he was too powerful.
So what I really like about this series is it shows just how important good rules writing is. And as a good rules writer, I like that, right? So it's fun to see other people struggle to get their rules across that work. And
Particularly multi-billion-dollar sports
feels real
franchises.
good.
Sure, yeah.
It feels real good. So yeah, and it can be very difficult to get something right.
Sure.
So we're going to see some examples of how that's done. So why don't you
Sure.
take it away?
Yeah, we've got a few examples here. This was an episode we did about Lester Hayes. Got a couple of applause of recognition already. Yeah, Lester Hayes was he played for the Raiders from 1977 to 1986. And if you remember, there's a scene, y'all remember the scene in Little Giants? This guy's laughing already, maybe he knows what I'm talking about. Where the little kid puts stickum on his palms and his palms stick together. That was a real thing, it was called stickum. And Lester Hayes used it so much in the NFL, they had to specifically put a rule in the rule book that said, hey, you can't use, did you know this?
Yeah.
You can't.
I watched the video. I'm a fan too. I work here, but I'm a fan, you know.
Yeah, they had to outlaw stickum in the rule book. And you would think, oh, yeah, no, it should go unwritten that you can't cover your body in literal glue for a game where you have to catch a flying object.
I wouldn't think that.
Yeah. You would not think that?
I would not think it should go unwritten.
Right.
I like how the football games in like the 70s and 80s, the rules are just like, you know what? No. It's like,
One thing that we have learned from doing this series is that, like, for some reason, the very late 60s, definitely the 70s, and a good chunk of the 80s were pretty much lawless in sports.
Yeah.
People were being maimed and injured, and
Yeah.
rules were basically being written on the fly.
The movie Rollerball was a documentary, right?
Sure, yes, yeah, famously, that was a documentary. Here's from that episode, just to give you an idea of how bad this situation got for our friend Lester Hayes. This is what it actually looked like after he was done playing a football game. That's just hardened glue all over his knuckles. There was one time when he caught an interception on his forearm.
you do what you gotta do. You do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
You didn't think David Tyree learned from something.
Yeah.
I'm worried about that cup. Seems like that's a mistake.
Yeah, that cup. That Fun Time Cup is really doing a lot of heavy lifting here. God bless. This is a fun one. This is like our most popular episode for some strange reason that people really love Kentucky basketball. But
This is amazing.
there was a coach named Billy Gillespie who was coaching the UK men's team. They were playing in Georgia. Georgia was up 2, and I think a good. A lot of things that also show up in our series are coaches and players who know the rule books really well. I think we've all probably played a board game with that person who,
Yes.
like, explains the rules to you, but then conveniently leaves out, like, the one in Rule 4, Section 6B2 about, like, what your special power your piece can do. And it's like, well, fuck, if you had told me that at the beginning of the game, I probably would have done a lot better.
It was like my first 5 times playing Catan. And it's like, oh, by the way.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way.
You have to actually string the roads together. Like, what
There
are
are
roads?
development cards. What are those? Oh, I'll casually tell you midway through the game.
Yeah,
You know,
sure.
it's like, yeah.
And so Billy Gillespie remembered in the middle of a game that if you block a free throw, which why would you ever think it's called a free throw for a reason, but if you block a free throw, you actually get a technical foul, which stops the clock. So they had 1.2 seconds left on the clock, and even though a free throw gives the other team free throws,
Another shot,
you get to inbound the ball with like a timeout effectively. So the plan in the middle of this game was, let's foul a free throw and see if we can make some magic happen. That was also predicated on them missing the throws, which they nailed both of them. I think it's been a while since I watched the video, but
And as soon as you said the words Billy Gillespie, I knew there was some shenanigans
yes,
going on.
yeah. He likes to get up into some shenanigans. This is also a good one. If you watch college basketball, you have never seen a digit larger than 5 on a jersey.
Yeah.
Because they signal with but this is actually written in the rule book, they signal with their hands the 2 digits of the jersey number, so you cannot have a number on a college basketball jersey that is larger than 5. Does that make sense? I feel like
Yeah, it's
totally
like, this would be
rambled
like
through that.
15 instead of 6.
Right, yeah.
And what's great about this is somehow football has managed.
Somehow every sport, including pro basketball, has figured it out.
Well, football, they just call out the number.
Yeah.
Right, you couldn't
But
do
basketball,
that. You couldn't
no.
do that on a basketball court. No,
Yeah,
that's
just
not
Can't
possible.
compute. Too easy.
Not to mention that you are surrounded by like 400 cameras when you walk into a basketball stadium. I'm pretty sure they could figure out who did the egregious foul. And then this was our first episode. This is a rule that says and the wording of this is hilarious to me, if through misadventure or sickness, whatever the fuck that means, the referees or the linesmen can't show up to an NHL game, the league has to do what they can to provide replacements. But then, we've got the data. We've got data coming in.
No, finish your story.
Here it is, folks. Okay. And if the league can't find replacements, both managers or the managers of both teams can come together and collectively agree on who will referee an NHL game. And in this particular story, the New Jersey Devils were playing the Hartford Whalers. There was a snowstorm. These referees couldn't show up. So both teams got together and they said, well, we have a guy who's not playing because he's got a bum knee. Oh, well, we have a guy who's not playing because he has a bum ankle. Let's get them practice sweats and they will referee this game. And sure as shit, they were like, yeah, okay, sure. And so for one full period, they just, and honestly, if you go to a hockey match or a hockey game, you too could be a ref because they only picked people who happened to be sitting around because they were hockey players. But it really could be anyone.
Could you imagine having to ref a professional hockey game? Just like, excuse me, sir, please.
I'm sure I would die. I would physically exhaust myself and I would just die. But I'll do you actually one better, and it's really funny that you mentioned that. There's also a rule, very briefly, this is also something we've talked about, and then we can go into some of this other stuff, but there's a rule, who's familiar with the emergency backup goalie rule in hockey?
Yeah.
So you, every single person sitting in here could potentially become a backup goalie and play in an NHL hockey game because the rule states if both of the hockey goalies that are on your roster succumb to injuries, you have to have some sort of backup goalie. And I don't know why, but teams pull accountants and
you would think
soda machine vendors to do it because they almost never get played, but it's happened twice in the last 4 years, including last week.
Yes, last week. Wait, I didn't catch this headline. Why would you re-examine this policy? It's the best policy in sports.
So they're now this week talking about changing it.
Oh.
The backup goalie? Backup goalie's too good.
Yeah, this guy's name is David Ayers. He's a 42-year-old Zamboni driver.
Right.
Which I can only, first of all, truly, I think driving a Zamboni would be a bigger goal for me than being a hockey goalie.
Actually,
if I had the choice, I would much rather.
Importantly, there is no rule that says that a fan can drive a Zamboni.
There you go.
Right? I mean, that's crazy. You wouldn't let that happen.
Sure.
Because I'd drive the Zamboni.
Yeah. I would kill 14 people doing it.
Without being asked.
But that's a baller business card, though.
Yeah.
Zamboni driver.
Zamboni driver. Yeah. Zamboni driver, and he also has the distinction of being the oldest goalie in NHL history to win his regular season debut. So let's give it up for David Ayers. And this happened a couple years ago in 2018.
Yeah,
too.
well, I'm a Blackhawks fan, and
that's right. He was a Chicago
and
Blackhawk.
So Scott Davis, the accountant, came in.
Right.
I'm a numbers fan too, so it made me very, very happy. And he won. And he won the game.
And they won the game. It's incredible. I think that's the good luck charm of a hockey team is to just have a rando be your goalie for half a period or whatever.
But there is a downside to it. I think that if you are an accountant for an NHL team, you always have to fear that they'll put you in goal.
Sure. Yeah. You can't be I have a ho-hum job pushing numbers. It's no, get up, Thompson. We need you. You're playing.
Yeah.
What?
It's it'd be you're playing Dungeons and Dragons, you're fighting a dragon, and somebody says, well, there's a real dragon outside. We know you can do it.
Yeah.
That's no good.
And my, truly, I think one of my favorite, and I know it's one of your favorites
it's my
too,
favorite
while
episode,
we're in the realm of NHL, is this guy, Roger Nielsen.
My
He's
hero.
the guy who ended up, a couple of woos of recognition for Roger Nielsen. He's in the Hockey Hall of Fame in the builder category, basically for breaking so many rules that they had to change the game. And I will very quickly roll through them for you. There's 3 that are really, really good. He realized that you could never have less than 3 players on the ice, regardless of the number of fouls when they played at the time. So he just kept putting too many men on the ice to keep stopping the clock and fucking up his opponents and making them angry. Yeah. And the NHL immediately was like, yeah, you can't do that. That's just an infinite loophole of fouls. This one's really good. He realized the rules for a penalty shot never specified you needed an actual goalie in the goal. You could substitute them with a defenseman. So he just put his defensemen in the net, and then when the opponent tried to take the penalty shot, they would just charge him in the middle of the ice. Which has got to be fucking terrifying to be like, okay, go ahead, take your shot. Oh shit!
You're gonna miss that shot.
Yeah, you're going to miss that shot. And then we all know you can pull your goalie to substitute at the end of a game for like an extra attacker or whatever. He was telling his goalies, hey, listen, when you come off the ice, just go ahead and leave your stick right in front of the, like in the crease of the net, so that the puck can't go into it. And for several games, they let him get away with that, and eventually they had to write. I forget what the actual rule says. We have the text in these episodes, but the text of the rule book. The text of the rule book is, I always appreciate a rule book that I feel like kind of knows it's being a little cheeky, because they had to specify you can't put any obstruction in the crease of a net, including piles of snow, which only just tells me that someone tried to like build a snowman, which is what we're talking about here in the thumbnail of the video. Like, what? There's no way you would come up with that unless it actually happened in real life, which to me is fucking hysterical.
Yeah, there's no question that my first defense against NHL players coming down on me when I'm stuck in goal as an accountant is I'm making a fort.
Right, yes.
Right? I don't have a lot to work with.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to make an ice fort.
Right.
And I don't understand why it's not allowed anymore.
He's also the guy, coincidentally, who started the whole towel waving tradition in hockey.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, why are rules important?
Well, I mean, like the thing.
I feel like that's a great example of you do sometimes have to.
Because I would write that rule. I would absolutely write that rule. Rules are important, obviously, because they define the field of play. That's very important to get right, and getting it right is often very difficult. One of the examples I use to illustrate this is that in role-playing games, you spend a lot of time being afraid of damage coming your way. But are you sufficiently afraid of the wizard? This book is called, from the Encyclopedia Magica, produced by TSR in its last days before it was bought by Wizards of the Coast. A copy editor going through it, they decided to change the name of the character class from mage to wizard, and then globally searched and replaced the word mage to wizard. And so now the cube of frost resistance, for example, does 200 points of the wizard to everybody.
I think this also illustrates the importance of having a good copy editor.
Yeah, that's very important. And you know that you might look through your crystal ball and see a mirror eye wizard out there, and and so obviously this is now very exploitable, right? You got damage resistance. Do you have the wizard resistance? Right?
So you think someone in tournament play would have tried to get away with doing wizard?
You're looking at it. So these books are kind of hard to make, right? And so this just gives you an example of, like, if you're casual, if you just stroll into work at 11:30 in the morning and just say, oh, whatever, search and replace that, you're going to get a rule book like the NHL's.
Yeah.
And so that's why I bring it to you guys. We'll do some examples of sports ones, of board game or whatever ones, you know. And so let's go into one of the meatier ones.
Sure. I just got distracted by Kofie.
Let's explain what Kofie is doing. Kofie, can you turn that screen around at all just to show people?
This.
Yeah, okay, sure. Great. So Kofie is now building live this whole based on your submissions of what should be on it. This is just the beginning. Yeah, you have to clear that Manhattan skyline to get onto the green.
Kofie, I don't want to spoil anything, but can you tell us what is like the third most popular request we got here? What are we seeing the third most of?
Their most popular request was, oh, sorry. Their most popular request was moose.
Moose. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Good.
Okay. So if you're looking forward to some mooses, we got some mooses coming up.
Some meese.
Oh, I don't think we
Nice
mentioned
meese.
we're going to let someone play this at the end.
That's
really quickly,
correct.
right? Yeah. So we're going to let one lucky person play
One
this course,
of you,
or attempt to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
give it
we're
your best
not.
shot.
We're not gonna-
We're not going to
I'm not playing
we're
this.
not dumb.
I'm not playing this game ever again after this. It's been like 4 to 6 weeks of playing this. I feel like people don't. After every episode, I don't touch that game for at least 4 months.
Yeah, this is a
Like,
real endurance
just-
test that we're making you go
Just
through.
some preservation stuff. Just, it's too much.
Who here saw the Fumble Invitational, the Fumble Dimension Invitational? How long did it take you to play through that whole course?
Okay, so it took John and I 4.5 hours.
Okay, cool.
So we started at 3:30 in the office, and by the time we left, it was 8 p.m.
Yeah.
All of our coworkers had left. It was just us two in a conference room.
If I remember
Sadly.
correctly, your score was something like 168 to 141 or something
We
like that.
cleared.
Great.
We cleared 200 at the end.
Great. That's a great
Okay.
golf score. That's so
Yeah.
high.
Yeah.
So many points.
Oh, by the way, just for those who don't know, low numbers are good in golf.
Oh. Oh, shit.
You don't say.
Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. I just
Yeah.
wanted people to see.
Of course.
You wanted to talk a little bit about this particular rule, right?
Yeah. So this rule is from a little card game called Magic the Gathering, and it says the rule is the head judge of a tournament may issue a proxy, see section 3.4, for a card that has become worn or damaged during the tournament. Any other cards that are not authorized game cards are prohibited in sanctioned tournaments. Well, we can all understand why the second part of that rule is there. Obviously, if I show up with a card from, let's say, Yu-Gi-Oh!, which has a toughness of 100,000, that's going to be, I understand that. But where did the first part of this come from? The answer is this card called Chaos Orb. So Chaos Orb is a card this is a real card. It was issued, it was playable in every tournament. And what it does is you can flip it onto the playing area from a height of at least 1 foot. This is definitely a manipulable distance, as you might guess. And then if what it touches, it destroys. Now, that's actually fairly easy to do, and the damage, so there are a couple of things that this caused. The first is people to put their cards very far away from each other. And I mean, I'm not measuring in inches now, right? Measuring in yards, right? But the second thing it allowed, again, and what's the rule from Air Bud again?
There's no rule that says a dog can't play basketball.
Right.
It
No
is known
one's-
as the Air Bud rule.
Yeah. No one said that the card Chaos Orb, once it was cast, could not be ripped into as many pieces as desired. And so, since it at that point, so of course, you make it rain, and everything dies, right? And this was a valid strategy for a little while. It cost you the Chaos Orb. That was hardly shuffleable.
Permanently.
Yeah, it was hard.
It'd be hard pressed to show up with this, scotch taped back together in,
Right.
in your sleeves, trying to play the game.
But for that, if that match was really important, that was an excellent way to win it. So now the judges have ruled that that card was damaged. I wonder how that happened. And thus would immediately be replaced with a proxy card that the judge would provide so that shenanigans wouldn't occur anymore, right? And the Magic rulebook is filled with Floral's filled with nonsense like this. So yeah, they paid some tribute to this by issuing a card called Chaos Confetti, which could be torn into pieces, right? And the rules were structured around that occurring, right? But yeah, so it isn't just sports.
Yeah,
we have our own kind of things like that.
This made me the supreme silliness. Oh, by the way, how much are one of these cards worth these days now?
Well, you can't get them anymore generally, yeah, because most of them have been ripped into pieces. But they're quite expensive. But they're also banned in tournament play.
Sure.
And when we say banned, like some cards are banned, like don't put that into your deck, right? These are banned if you walk in the room.
Cool.
Right? Because they know who you are at that point.
Hey, how did you get kicked out of PAX? I brought in a Chaos Orb and they fucking threw me on the street.
I brought a full deck of Chaos Orbs. Anyway,
Fight the police.
That's that story.
The supreme silliness of destroying your own card kind of made me think about this rule, and maybe not the rule itself, but what followed. This is MLB Rule 6.04D, which another hilarious thing about rule books is that they're by necessarily so organized that the actual rule address is usually like 40 numbers and a few letters and your social security number. Right. This one I like because this says if you get ejected from the game, you can still watch, but you got to change into your street clothes and then either leave the park or just, sit in the mezzanine. So you can sit in the grandstand and then finish watching the game. And then they also had to specify if you are under suspension, you can't go into the dugout or the press box. And this guy here, Mets coach Bobby Valentine, did manage to sneak his way in. I wonder.
No, that's not his mustache.
Why am I a Mets fan?
Why are you a Mets fan? Why are any of us a Mets fan?
I got a Mets question last night, and why would anyone give me that?
So the umpire declares some sort of catcher interference here. That's our good friend Mike Piazza, and Bobby Valentine comes out and he says, "I'm not so happy with that." He gets ejected somewhere in here. Yep, you're out of here. And then a little bit later, the broadcast catches him in the booth, and he's now wearing a mustache disguise like Groucho Marx to hide in the dugout so he can continue, I guess, just watching the game. Like, this is the extent that people will go to bend the smallest. I mean, this is Rule 6.04B. I mean, the funniest thing to me is that he had the fucking mustache on him when he walked into, like, where did that come from?
Or there was somebody who knew this would occur on the staff and always brought the mustache to work.
Yeah, there's a box to break. This is emergency mustache or something like that.
Wait, I need one of those.
How do I make it go full screen again?
All right, while you're doing that,
I'm clicking and it's not doing it.
these are hysterical videos. While you're messing with that, Clara,
Sure.
Tell us about what it's like to work on this nonsense. Like when somebody comes in the room with one of these, what happens?
Well, first we tease them mercilessly, regardless of what they've brought.
Right.
But yeah, usually it is just like how you see it in the video. It's kind of like new to the panel that's hearing about the rule, and the other person has done all the work. And we just, chime in with our little comments.
Yeah, there's nothing,
comments.
nothing.
Or shitty little jokes.
Yes. Oh, they're adorable.
No, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
You got your thing set up?
Yeah, we're all good to go. Okay. Wanted to go. So this is another one. These are actually, we're not getting into rules we've never done on the show now. So Clara and Kofie, I think, are hearing about these for the first time. You were particularly interested in this one too, Kofie.
Yeah, and that's the best way to go into these videos if you're just like a guest, as unprepared as possible.
Yeah.
so you can just be surprised.
This is not something, this is not the one I was talking about
It's
earlier,
actually
but this is
interesting.
also pretty interesting. So mostly for the phrase failure to comply, which usually is a police officer is saying this to you,
Yes.
but now you're reading it in an NFL rule book. Basically, if you don't show up to the coin toss at the beginning of a football game for God knows what reason,
Right.
you just lose it automatically, and there's a penalty. And that, to my knowledge, has never happened in an NFL game.
Because if you're there for the game anyway.
Yeah.
It's almost like they heard someone be like, coin tosses are stupid. And they're trying to get ahead of that.
I'll show them 15, 20 yards. Rein it back in. If no one shows up to the game,
To the coin toss.
everyone goes home.
Yeah, we just tailgate.
You just say fuck it.
Well, no, it's
if
actually-
you can't even bring your ass out for the coin toss, it's like, what are we even doing here?
Yeah.
Right, well, most teams defer on the coin toss. So they'd both defer to each other,
Sure, right. Yeah.
and thus neither would get the ball.
Yeah. An implosion happens and everyone dies.
There's an XFL rule for that.
The XFL is so much fun. It's like a video game.
No, I meant for implosions.
Right. Yes. And
This, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so I got this one. So I tried to think of the most pure form of competition in the game space is game shows, of course, right? Where you see people often literally die for you on screen. In this case, there's a rule in Jeopardy, tiebreaker rule, and a lot of people don't know this, right? Maybe you've never even seen it in play. It says if there's 2 or 3 players tied for first place after each contestant unveils their final Jeopardy response, and this is important to know that the Alex in question is host Alex Trebek, that's in the actual, we'll present one more category and read the clue. The clue has no dollar value and does not increase the player's winnings.
It has to be Alex Trebek. It can't be.
it cannot be. If you have any other,
No one else.
You
can.
cannot bring a spare Alex.
There's only one man for this job.
Rodriguez,
no substitute
go home.
Alexes.
So, and this has happened a couple of times since, and this rule was introduced in 2016. It's really annoying, actually. When it happens, it's just like, here's a question, whoever buzzes in, okay, you win. Like, it feels awful, right? And so, but how did it get there? Well, it happened because of a fellow named Scott Weiss. Do you have that video?
I think I have to pull it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Scott Weiss is a professor from Mount St. Mary's College. And he is, a super genius, as you might guess. Also a really nice guy, which is about to show up.
Yeah.
He was winning this match by a lot. And when you win a match, or when you're winning a match by a lot, you have a great deal of control over the game. So here's what's occurring. The question has been asked here. One of the men who shot her realized that when he saw her body, that she'd often waited him in a cafe in Dallas. Does anyone know the answer to that off the top of her head? No. Well, these 3 did. Because the first one has $8,000 and answers who is Bonnie Parker. Spoiler, the next person's also going to have $8,000, and Scott has $13,000. So even if they both get them right, if Scott gets it right,
for some reason.
Yeah, if Scott gets it right, he can bet more than they did, and he will win. So he gets it right and bet $2,600, which caused the world's first 3-way tie, requiring the producers to not only give them all money, they all got $16,000. All of them were invited back to compete the next day.
That rules.
What a nice guy.
It is literally the
nice
most humanitarian act that has ever been done on a game show and could not ever be allowed to happen again. And so they put in that rule specifically to avoid ties in Jeopardy from that point on.
I wonder if they all looked at each other like, everyone know this? All right.
Yeah, actually, yeah, and he was asked afterwards, there were people who were like, God, that guy was an idiot. Why would he do that? Yeah, he won $16,000 and made 2 people's lives great. Right? That's a fair trade.
And the crazy thing about it, though, is they have to put in the wagers before they even see the question.
That's right.
So this was a totally random
he didn't know.
chance.
He didn't know. He could have lost. He didn't lose. It's one of my favorite moments. All right, this nonsense. What is this?
Yes. So the Jeopardy thing. This guy's really excited. This guy loves this role. This has not been successfully attempted in the NFL since 1976. The Jeopardy thing made me think of this because the Jeopardy thing. There's now a rule for something that article said was a 1 in 25 million chance of 3 people tying at the end of Jeopardy.
Yeah.
So something that will never happen again, they had to write a rule for. This is something that there's a rule for that I don't think I've ever seen happen. This is what I was telling you about earlier. The fair catch kick. So when you can do a fair catch after a kickoff or a kick return?
Yeah, I've heard.
When you do the fair catch, you know you do that.
I dabble in football.
You've dabbled.
Have you watched football?
It's on every Sunday. It's incredible. After you catch the fair catch, you can elect, instead of starting a new drive and set of downs, you can do a field goal from the line, from right there, from the line of scrimmage.
Oh, from where you catch
From where you do the fair catch. I don't know why, because you're usually so far away, it's not really
Yeah,
gonna...
like you're normally 70 yards out, but if you weren't...
Kofie is like trying to absorb this information.
So basically, you can just like kick a field goal after you catch it.
Yeah.
That's basic. So
in
why,
that same play?
What do you mean in that?
Well, no. So you
Yeah,
don't catch it, and then there's still guys running at you, and then you kick the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. I'm like,
No. That would be fucking awesome.
I would.
That's basically like Australian rules football or something like that. That's the XFL.
That's the XFL, yeah.
I don't know. So that's B. Snap from the spot of catch. Putting the ball in play after fair catch, you can do a kick. I don't know why.
Maybe the kicker's last game.
But can't you just do that anyway?
You could, and the thing is, you can kick a field goal on any
anytime you want.
down,
Yeah.
anytime you want.
Well,
but what's that?
No, you'd have to snap
Right.
it. This is kicking it from the point you caught it.
Right.
You just gained 15 yards.
Right. What?
You gain the distance, so you would snap it back.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. It's held. That's right.
Right. No, that's actually really good.
This might be why we've never seen it, because I think this conversation will break out on field, and the entire thing would just comes to a complete.
The ref will be like, "You want to do what? What is?"
That already happens in football games, and if someone, could you imagine if Pete Carroll was just like, "Yeah, I'm going to do the fair catch kick," and everyone's like, "Wait, what the fuck is he talking about? What?
Is he just making stuff up?
Someone's yelling something in the back. There was one this year? Are you serious? When?
Okay. All right.
Oh, shit.
No, I need to hear this now.
Now you have an episode.
Yeah, you have the
then
floor.
someone needs to update the Wikipedia page that I pulled that date from. Oh, they failed. Oh, that's the last successful one.
That's
Okay,
awesome.
we got it.
Last successful attempt. Sure. All right. Wow. None of that makes any damn sense. but
Anyway, because rules are hard, we started changing things to a series called That's Weird, where we started moving away from rules and just telling more general sports weirdness, because even rules aside, sports themselves can get pretty weird.
Yeah.
This is about the guy who scored the first touchdown in the first Super Bowl was a backup who was extremely hungover the entire time, debilitatingly so. He went out and partied the night before because he was a backup and he didn't think he had to play, and he was out until 6 o'clock in the morning, and then the starting receiver broke his shoulder, and it just makes me laugh because I think I would rather kill myself if I was a backup and I showed up hungover.
Sports.
My favorite part of that story actually is that he called his teammate to make sure there wasn't a guy downstairs checking to.
That's right, yes.
During the curfew.
This was the Vince Lombardi era, so he had hired chaperones to watch his football players to make sure they weren't escaping the hotel to do exactly what this guy did.
Yeah, there was a rule in place.
Yeah. That's the weird rule. He just didn't go back to the hotel. And then there's this one, of course, my favorite is the Golden State Warriors player who was.
Hold on.
Am I going too fast?
No. I just want to
to
see, just for the moment, picture what, if you haven't seen this episode, picture what you think this episode will be about, right? Just hold that thought in your head and then compare it to the reality that Ryan is about to describe.
So Seth told our other producer, Seth Rosenthal, he wrote this episode and came up with this, and I can't remember the guy's name, so I'm actually frantically trying to look it up. But there was a dolphin in one of the aquariums in California that had swallowed a screw that was going to threaten the life of this dolphin, because I guess you can't have big metal screws floating around your insides if you're a sea creature like that. And so
or human.
Or human, or any sort of general living thing.
I like how you thought it was a challenge.
Right.
Yeah, just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And so someone that worked at the zoo was like, "Hey, I know the publicist for the Golden State Warriors. Let's see if there's someone there that has really long arms that can reach into this dolphin and pull the screw out." And so they called him up, and this particular guy was home. They were traveling, but he was in California with a knee injury. Yeah. And they called him up and they said, "Hey, do you want to come reach into this dolphin?" And he said, "Yeah, sure. I'm not doing anything."
My schedule's open.
So how did that match up with the thing you had in your hand? See, reality always wins.
There's actually some photographic evidence of this occurring. Let me see if I can pull this up really quickly.
I don't remember that.
So we also, our great animator Phil, sort of animates these for us, and there he is. This guy reached in, this NBA center reached into a dolphin's stomach and pulled out that screw. That's him sweating like he's deactivating a bomb. But that's the screw right there. That was inside a dolphin, and they called him up. And this guy, I love this guy's face. Like, I can't believe I just fucking watched that happen. I missed that.
Hi, how was your day at work? Whoa.
It was fucking
I got
weird.
something.
Also, we gotta go to a Warriors game sometime soon.
And they kept the screw in the museum afterwards as like a keepsake.
They did, and I think they named a sandwich after this guy too.
They
That's
did.
pretty great.
Seth says his name in the video, and if anyone knows it, they're free to shout it out.
Clifford
but
Ray.
That's it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
Clifford Ray. Thank you, right there.
Yeah.
You like that, huh? You really like that.
Look, I mean, do you have the trade in this one? The recent trade episode?
Oh yes, two Yankees pitchers had their wives swapped them as lovers in the 1970s. There were these two Yankees pitchers named Mike Kekich and Fritz Peterson, who were swingers basically. And in the off season, their wives were like, "Hey, how about you move out and the other guy move in?" And they swapped wives and families and everything, and then their careers immediately imploded. One guy got traded like 4 months later before the season was even over, and
And like one stayed together, and then
one couple is now
Yeah.
still together to this day.
the other
Yeah.
one.
True love. Yeah, let's hear it. Let's clap it up for True Love. This guy right in the middle knows what he's talking about.
Okay.
So that's Weird Rules.
Well, let's get ready to move into the fumble.
And we are now re-entering the fumble dimension.
Kofi, are we ready?
Yeah, I've been
All
chilling.
right.
I've
Well,
been chilling.
let's switch over to that. We're gonna need a player though.
Yeah, you pick a volunteer.
Me? Oh no, absolutely.
No, that's not. That was not a move. That was gonna get you on stage.
All right, let me go.
Pick someone, Kofi.
You in the back with the girl with the pink hair, the person next to him. Yeah,
Cool.
go
Come on
for
up.
it, dude.
Let's hear for this person.
Come
Yeah.
on down, this person.
Welcome to the fumble dimension. What's your name and what are your pronouns?
Stay short.
I'm Devin.
Go. Cool.
Devin.
Where do I go?
We'll fit
You'll
you
take
in.
my chair.
Kofi, you want to tell us what's in store for Devin here? What was the number one most requested? Hey, Devin, I'm Ryan, by the way. Nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
What was the most requested item here?
Most requested item was, I think, the cow.
The cow.
The cow.
I closed the laptop.
The mighty cow. He closed the laptop. It's impossible to know.
But
Only the fumble dimension knows now.
I did it by proportion. So while you guys had like only a specific number, it's a par 5. So I just like multiplied it.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a lot more than you guys requested for it, but
Okay.
there's more than certain objects in another. So, have you ever played a golf video game before?
Mario Golf, 64.
It's just like that.
Okay. All right. So, here we go.
Devin, have you ever played a golf course designed by a mad person? Because I think you might actually about to have a maniac come at you.
This looks amazing.
You put your hand up. So,
Just to be clear, par 5.
yeah, par 5. You got 5 shots.
So we'll see where you are after 5.
Devin, did you vote for any item?
I voted for the cow.
Okay.
Oh, the helipad over the airplanes is good.
I'm not gonna lie.
And then the kangaroos.
I forgot where the hole
All
is.
right.
I'm not gonna lie.
Devin, are you a person who values the well-being of animals?
So you swim with the. Right
I guess not cows.
Well,
Not after this first shot.
So you can change your clubs with the left and right bumpers, and you can pull a thumbstick down and then put it back up to swing. So it's
Does
like
the red
Yeah, we
mean
should
that
mention,
I'm
for anyone who
going to
hasn't
hit
seen the
down?
episode, these animals
The
will
red
die
means-
if they are hit with
That's
the ball.
right.
They do crumble into a pile. The ball seems to continue to go through them.
Yeah.
we got a little
It
practice
phases
swing.
through them, killing them.
Oh, so close.
Why did that guy die?
Oh, off the roof.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Nice first shot. Okay. All right. Spectator gallery in the way.
I do like the Mario reference. That was
Floating
I
in the air.
appreciate that.
This one.
All right, so now you have. Ooh.
Okay. Good. Good. In through the airplanes,
Oh, there's water.
into the water. Bet you didn't know there'd be an actual water hazard.
Yeah.
Oh, I get to
So-
choose where
Okay.
to put it now.
Moose.
Yeah?
Cows.
Put it here.
Actually, I should let Kofie. Kofie, I need you to narrate in the voice. Nice.
All right,
narrate in the voice you
we're
narrate.
on shot number 4, maybe 4 or 5 here.
I'm gonna
I think you're on 3.
do this.
Yeah, that cow is not moving.
Did I not hit it?
Oh, I guess.
Ooh.
Oh, by the outhouse.
Ooh, right onto the fairway, but
Yeah.
you're behind the building, sir. What is your next
No.
move? Oh, and it's gonna roll all the way.
Wait. Hold on.
I'm booing the game. I'm booing the game. I'm booing the game. To be clear.
This is where you part company? Is physics?
All right, we're in some heavy rough here.
Stop
Got some
signs.
Stop signs, outhouses, and a plane.
So I need to go there.
Oh, the plane. You don't want to land on the plane.
No,
I think I actually want to aim for the
it's not an ideal shot for you. Ooh.
Oh.
And it's just gonna roll back down.
All the way back down.
I'm not a betting man, but I'm gonna say you're not gonna beat par.
Oh. You can change the clubs though. You can change the clubs with the so it makes a difference.
Is this
I liked in the video where John would always use the driver for everything, including
Yeah,
putting.
it was a very interesting tactic. And all right, so
this
maybe
one.
let's try that. Let's
boy.
give that one a try.
Oh. Over the helipad. Good. Oh, into the rough. Oh no! Is it gonna be under a building? No, he didn't. Okay.
No, but you are
And
making
it-
progress, and
we-
I'm happy for you.
Thank you. I'm happy for me too.
Ooh. I don't like your odds of clearing the boat.
Oh my God.
Pressure's high, huh?
So, like I said, this took us 4.5 hours to complete. So imagine us doing this for 4.5
I'm
hours.
doing it.
You the man. Under the helipad. Under the helipad.
We're almost on
wow.
the green. Pretty good.
Yeah.
There you go. 40 yards.
Is the airplane over the hole?
Maybe.
I like the fortress maze of outhouses.
How many yards away is that?
This is kind of like a tower defense game in its own way.
You are 74 feet away.
Okay. I have no idea how much that is.
What club should you use, guys?
Yeah, you guys.
Did you just
guys
putt
have
the
done
ball?
a 74
Is that a
foot?
shot?
Right.
I don't know.
What would you use to clear the airplane?
Wedge.
Yeah, wedge.
All right.
Yeah, maybe sand wedge.
Kofi,
Sand
what,
gap wedge.
what
Yeah,
have you
pitching
learned
wedge.
about the intersection of video game rules and sports rules by doing Fumble Dimension?
Oh man, it's the best. Ooh. Oh, now. Ooh.
What? Where are we?
Oh, we were making good progress. Oh man.
Wow, this looks like a normal course.
I didn't think the ball would ever pass that point, so that's why it's a little sparse.
Another thing I really loved about your episode was you couldn't store the whole thing at once, so there were parts of the course saved individually, which is great, until John hit the ball to a different hole.
Yeah. First play was like the first shot, first hole. It was just like, what? Oh, I left it blank because we had a hole limit. We had an object limit, and of course for like frame rate reasons that you can't put so many objects on a course, but
I don't know where you ended up.
yeah, I admire your tactics.
You're good. You're good. Okay, through the kangaroo.
He's on the green.
Under the kangaroo. Did not kill the kangaroo.
All right, so for those of you wondering, the course that we made in the video is playable, but it's a series of 4 save files. So if you have the Golf Club 2019 or want to get it,
Yeah.
you can actually
Who here
play.
has the Golf Club 2019?
Hey. That guy does.
We don't
That guy
judge.
raised his hand.
We don't judge in
I
this
just
room.
wanted to see.
Play the course.
Is that the hole?
You are 5 feet away.
Okay.
Where is it?
Yeah. So there's an airplane wing in your way. You haven't had that problem?
I think.
I believe in you.
Let's see.
We don't know. In the hole.
Did he get it?
Is that
Oh, they think the kangaroo ate it.
Oh, we got it.
Devin. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, your champion, Devin. What was his score? Oh, whatever.
9.
A 9? A 9 is respectable.
Sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Weird Rules Live.
Thank you for
I want to
having
thank
us.
Kofie Yeboah, Clara Morris, Ryan Simmons of SB Nation. You can find them on the internet at their internet addresses. And there you go. And I'm Mike Selinker. Thank you again. Have a good rest of your PAX.
Thanks, everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you.